When it comes to public spaces in the city, everybody has to go through them. It is impossible to remain cut off from them. And exceedingly, as time goes by in the 21st century, movement and transport become very, very indispensable to the experience of public spaces. And this is where no matter what mode of transport we are using, whether we're using public transport or whether we're even interfacing with a public space through our means of private transport, that experience pretty much forms the schema or forms the dominant idea that we have of the city.
Urban design is a discipline which is concerned about the holistic development of our cities. The cities are for people, and it is the concern that of the people which needs to be addressed through design. And there are various attributes of design which have to be considered while we actually intervene into the physical space. Urban design truly is about the spaces between the buildings. So the physical space which is available to us, once which is further induced with activities, transforms the space into place.
The first thing is that irrespective of age, sex, physical abilities, people should move around freely, safely, enjoy the facilities easily and independently, as well as with dignity. I think that's very important.
All environments have the potential to contribute in differing degrees to the enablement and disablement of their inhabitants. Therefore, it is architecture that disables or enables a person. When a space is designed for all, there is high usability. But what is usability? The Center for Universal Design defines usability as 7 principles, which are equitable use, flexibility in use, simple and intuitive use, perceptible information, tolerance for error, low physical effort, and size and space for approach and use. We gave each of these principles a physical analog. Equitable design translates to equitable use by males, females, children, differently abled, and the aged. A space is flexible if it is robust enough to accommodate various activities such as become waiting spots and collection spots. Simple and intuitive design results in easy wayfinding. A space is easily perceived if it has adequate lighting and signages. Tolerance for error means providing fail-safe features such as dedicated pedestrian pathways. Lower physical effort is required if there are obstruction-free paths and easy level differences. This parameter is satisfied when a space is designed keeping in mind anthropometrics and ergonomics. Some of these are further translated into simpler tangibles. In Delhi, the transport hubs have some of the highest number of users per day. Some of these hubs are more complex than the others. New Delhi Railway Station, 16 platforms, 281 trains and 5 lakh passengers daily. In this area, the Kashmere Gate side of the railway station, lie the New Delhi Railway Station, the Yellow Line Metro Station, the Airport Express Metro Station, and the multi-level car parking. There are 15 different layers of infrastructure present in this area. On all pedestrian movement lines lie multiple breakpoints. where the pedestrians encounter obstacles of various kinds. The pedestrian entry of the New Delhi railway station looks like this, is an assembly of this, behaves like this as per usability parameters. Hence, its usability score is very low. If the space is deconstructed into all participating agencies, one realizes the presence of 6 overlapping agencies. Now, analyzing the entry into the Yellow Line metro station, which looks like this, is an assembly of this, behaves like this as per usability parameters. Hence, its usability score is also very low. And the deconstruction into agencies for this space gives us 8 overlapping agencies. As for the Airport Express metro station entry, with one identified break and comparatively easier use, only 2 overlapping agencies are present. And the same study for multiple such points. Tabulated such
Okay, one of the important things about usability or development rather is about how intervention in the city should not just be about development but about placemaking, and transport is one of these opportunities because it's the most inclusive kind of public space that you would have, and this is where what becomes extremely necessary is that by default any public space in the city is going to be one where there are several agencies responsible for it, and one of the malaises, so to speak, in our urban environment is the fact that these agencies do not have their roles and responsibilities clearly cut out. So that in effect leads to a lack of cohesiveness, cohesion and sort of congruence design when it comes to design in the way these agencies work, because there is a severe lack of lateral coordination. So but however, this is just it's a sort of presumption that we have at this point, but it would be very interesting to understand if there is a definite relationship between the number of agencies and the resulting built environment itself.
Is this relationship limited to the New Delhi railway station, or is it a city-wide phenomenon? Kashmere Gate is a multimodal transport hub with the interstate bus terminal, 2 existing and 1 proposed lines of the metro converging, and 3 lakh passengers daily. Multiple breakpoints were identified on the movement lines. documented, analyzed, deconstructed into participating agencies, and the same study for multiple such points. Tabulated gave us a very similar pattern. A much smaller metro station, far less complex, but dealing with similar issues. The exit of the metro station with these hindrances reduces the usability.
In cities, we have become used to all kinds of chaos. We assume it is perfectly normal. We assume that things will not come together, and this just doesn't need to be. We wonder why things don't work, why roads are dug up, why there is traffic chaos, why sometimes trees overlap with wires and lines, why we can't see buildings or access them easily. And when we investigate this, we start realizing that every space in the city has a number of different authorities and agencies which look after it. When we do not, and in fact often do not, coordinate with each other, and what the resultant city is relatively chaotic. We see all kinds of breakdown in urban infrastructure, including those at our transport nodes, simply because too many bodies come together which do not talk to each other. This is an urban reality.
Often a space is not just difficult to physically navigate through, but is experientially and visually unfavorable to use. Sights, sounds, and smells are important factors in forming the user experience of a space. Hence, should be important parameters in assessing usability. In the New Delhi railway station area, an interesting pattern was observed. At the interfaces of agency boundaries were stark gaps. These were places of garbage dumping, lawlessness, misconduct. Is this state of experiential usability in the city another outcome of the lack of lateral coordination among agencies? What is it that dominates the visual experience of the area around the New Delhi railway station? With a wide, incohesive material palette and conflicting or unresponsive architectural expressions, the overall visual expression of the built environment is incoherent and chaotic. But again, is the user so busy navigating that the visual experience goes unnoticed? In these areas of high traffic, wide impact, and huge significance, the overall usability was found to be very low, especially at peaks of multiplicity. The loose edges of ownership and control, due to this multiplicity, while creating space for informality, add to the vibrancy of the area. Positions eyes on the street, make the area appear more inclusive, and of course, create livelihood opportunities. But at what cost?
In my opinion, the other missing ingredients is unawareness about the legislations, like the recent Street Vendors Act of 2014. Under this act, the planning and controls that a planner would have put into this holistic approaches get superseded by the rights of the people who earn their livelihoods in such pedestrian spaces. This means that the pedestrian movement gets, or I would say loses importance when somebody's livelihood is involved. This will in turn invite other agencies like police, politicians, municipals, and they will start affecting the usability of that particular space. And the other missing ingredient is lack of importance of pedestrian movement in our value systems. This, or I would say these in my opinion, are major attributes missing in holistic approaches that result in lack of usability.
In the project that is the city, the process of development is very complex. With a direct impact on the public space experience of the city, lateral coordination is imperative. But apart from participating agencies, the responsibility also lies with the users of the space. And it must also lie with those who are trained in designing holistically and with the ability to preempt situations.